Tonight, concerns in a Hollister neighborhood after a teenager blows off his own hand. How his parents could face charges after he's found with illegal explosives. Plus, remembering a Hollywood icon. We take a look back at Olivia Newton-John's beloved moments on the screen and throughout her activism. And ready for the new school year with new school supplies? The backpack distribution giving hundreds of Central Coast students their classroom goodies. KION News Channel 46 starts now.
Covering the Central Coast, this is KION News Channel 46 at 5 o'clock.
It all depends on the nature of the reasons behind the explosives. If it's just a juvenile making their own fireworks or experimenting with their own fireworks versus someone who, might have some terrorist ties or affiliated with a hate group.
Good evening. A Hollister teenager now recovering in the hospital after handling those illegal explosives. Tonight, investigators with the Hollister Police Department will be questioning what he was planning to do with them. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight for KION News at 5. We start with an investigation now underway in Hollister. Over the weekend, a community shaken by a blast on the first floor of their apartment complex. After agents with the bomb squad arrived, they found more explosive items.
We heard a loud boom, then a few minutes later, we heard the ambulance and police.
Juan Gariba lives right next to the rustic apartment complex unit in Hollister off Sierra Court, where on Saturday evening, neighbors heard a very loud explosion.
A short time after we saw the teenager who had blown his hand off, his upper torso was also injured.
Neighbors are thankful it wasn't any worse, but they're saddened to know that doctors could do nothing to save his hand.
Poor kid, I could tell he was very scared.
Hollister police say first aid was given to a 16-year-old who lives in this apartment unit. Once a warrant was issued, investigators say they went inside and they discovered he had bomb-making materials and other explosive devices.
Our officers responded and found a juvenile with severe injuries to his left hand. They were able to determine that there was some kind of explosion that happened inside the apartment.
Other agencies also assisted that night, including the Monterey County Bomb Squad, which helped detonate some of those explosive devices. The incident has been reported to the FBI, and at the moment, it's undetermined what the teenager intended to do with the deadly materials. It's also too early to say if his parents will face any consequences. They're also allowing the teenager time to recover and will start questioning him as early as this evening.
He's going to be going through a lot of rehabilitation and a lot of medical necessities.
Well, several agencies helped, including the San Benito County Sheriff's Office, the ATF, and already law enforcement has a lot of evidence to comb through. Well, new tonight, Salinas police are trying to learn more about a deadly accident where a car crashed and killed a man while he was walking across the street. It all happened on the 1400 block of East Alisal Street. Officers say the 31-year-old man in the middle of the road was suffering from major injuries when they arrived. He died on scene shortly after. Authorities say the driver of the car that hit him did call police and is cooperating with this investigation. In Watsonville, a man wanted for a felony and drugs meant for sale, now off the streets tonight. He's been captured, and that's according to police. Officers carried out a traffic stop on Freedom Boulevard. That was Sunday night. They found a 21-year-old Freddie Allegius had a felony warrant for his arrest. They also found a loaded gun, 1,500 grams of marijuana, they say, and packaging material, along with other items. He's now been booked into the Monterey County Jail. Well, two men are in jail tonight after police say they were caught attempting to break into a car. Officers say one of them also had narcotics on him. This was on Van Buren Avenue in Salinas. The 24-year-old and 27-year-old suspects were arrested and then booked into the Monterey County Jail. A Salinas man could spend more than 90 years in prison after a jury finds him guilty of first-degree murder and attempted murder. 30-year-old Michael Sanchez went to a tent at a homeless encampment located near Industrial Street and Sanborn Place in April of 2021. While Sanchez was there to shoot 3 people inside that tent, including one 17-year-old who later died. The 2 other victims survived. Sanchez will be sentenced in September. Breaking news tonight, the FBI here is conducting a search on former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. That's according to the former president himself. The reason is not clear right now. In a statement, Trump called the raid, quote, not necessary or appropriate. The Justice Department has been investigating boxes of records containing classified information. They were taken to Mar-a-Lago after President Trump's term in office. It's not clear whether the search was connected to the probe, however. Here at home on the Central Coast, taking a first look at your weather forecast, our chief meteorologist, Dan Cianca, joining us now. Hey, Dan.
Full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Dan. Thank you. In our fire watch tonight, crews making progress as they battle the McKinney fire in Siskiyou County. It remains, though, at 40% containment after burning more than 60,000 acres. 4 people have died as a result of the fire. The Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office says deputies are still working to find possibly other victims. Well, to our COVID-19 coverage now, the CDC is expected to relax some of its COVID-19 restrictions very soon. This as millions of children make their way back into the classrooms. Well, tonight we're taking a look at a draft document on those updated guidelines for students and parents. They're likely to involve 2 key areas, testing and social distancing. Nancy Chin tells us what could lead to the most pre-pandemic-like school year since COVID-19.
CDC is planning to simplify and streamline a wide number of its COVID-19 recommendations, starting in the classroom. According to a draft document obtained by CBS News, the changes could allow schools to relax their strict social distancing measures, which have already been effectively phased out by the CDC. They would also de-emphasize so-called test-to-stay strategies, where students exposed to the virus take regular tests to stay in the classroom.
So the test-to-stay strategies, we've turned over a lot of infections that were asymptomatic and forced kids out of the classroom. I think they can lift those things at this point, and that seems to be where CDC is heading.
School Superintendent Michael Cornell fully supports the possible changes.
What we have to focus on in school is making sure our kids experience joy, value, and connection in school.
Another potential update, those exposed to COVID would no longer need to quarantine, vaccinated or not. Instead, the recommendation would be to mask for 10 days and test 5 days after exposure. Dr. Scott Gottlieb says the CDC would still ask schools to remain vigilant.
For example, notifying parents when there's a close contact so parents can keep an eye on their children and get them tested.
Well, right now, about 30% of children between the ages of 5 to 11 are fully vaccinated. Most Americans are living in areas with medium to high COVID rates. So what about things here at home on the Central Coast? KION checked for you, and here's what hospitalizations are looking like right now. In Monterey County, 34 patients are reported to be in the hospital with the virus. In Santa Cruz County, 27, and in San Benito County, there are no COVID patients right now. Across the nation tonight, the parents of Gabby Petito are filing a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Utah Police Department. They say 2 police officers failed to properly handle a 911 call, which led them to Petito back in 2021. A witness had reported Petito's boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, hit her, stole her phone, and drove off without her. Petito's parents say the officers should have known she was a victim of intimate partner violence and needed help. Laundrie then beat and strangled Petito to death during that cross-country road trip. To the killing now of Ahmaud Arbery, the Georgia father and son were found guilty of his murder. They have been sentenced to a second life sentence. Gregory McMichael and his son Travis were convicted of federal hate crime charges earlier this year. Their neighbor, William Rhodey Bryan Jr., is the 3rd man involved here. He has been sentenced now to 35 years, and tonight we hear from the victim's father.
It was hard to look at them every day as a father.
and they show no remorse for how they took his life. That's the thing that really bothered me real bad. And then they act for mercy. They didn't give him no mercy that day.
Well, all three men already are serving life sentences. They chased and shot down the 25-year-old black man while he was out jogging back in 2020. Well, Australian singing sensation Olivia Newton-John has passed away at her California home at the age of 73. Her career took off playing an innocent young woman in the movie Grease. She made a lifetime of music and devoted herself to charitable works and her personal dream to see a cure for cancer within her lifetime. Michael George now gives us a look back at her greatest moments.
Olivia Newton-John took 80s aerobics to another level. The title single off her double platinum album, Physical, spent 10 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was not only the biggest hit of the pop singer's career, but the #1 hit of the entire decade. The English-born, Australian-raised singer rose to fame in the 1978 movie adaptation of the musical Grease. She played Sandy, opposite John Travolta's Danny Zuko. The movie became the biggest box office hit of the year and enjoys an enduring popularity in the U.S.
40 years later, who would have thunk it?
Cast members and the director reunited in 2018 for the film's 40th anniversary.
We feel very grateful that this is still a part of everyone's. They love it.
Off-screen, Newton-John was a longtime activist for environmental and animal rights issues. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1992. It returned for the third time in 2017.
You look pretty fearless to me right now.
I'm not afraid of anything right now.
Speaking with Gayle King for Sunday Morning, Newton-John relied on her trademark sunny optimism.
I've chosen that path to be grateful and to feel good about things because the other side's not so good.
Newton-John poured her energy into her own healing and raising money for her cancer center in Australia, supporting research for plant-based medicine and wellness therapies.
I'm really delighted with all the support that we're getting for the center.
Newton-John was made a dame in 2020 for her service to charity, cancer research, and entertainment, all things close to her heart.
I honestly love you.
Michael George, CBS News.
Beautiful woman. Well, Newton-John leaves behind a daughter. American actor and singer John Travolta releasing a statement on her passing. He says in part, quote, "My dearest Olivia, you made all of our lives so much better. Your impact was incredible. I love you so much. We will see you down the road and we will all be together again. You're yours from the very first moment I saw you and forever. You're Danny, you're John." We'll be right back. Well, tonight, more disaster assistance funding will be available for the state of Kentucky after the state's worst flooding ever. President Joe Biden and the First Lady surveyed the damage today. 37 people have died. 2 are still missing tonight. It's the president's second visit to the Bluegrass State in less than a year. Last December, he surveyed the damage after tornadoes ripped through western Kentucky, killing 77 people. The president also pointed to the impacts of climate change. Over in Colorado streets, they're flooded with water following heavy rain in downtown Denver. Flash flood warnings have been issued from Denver to Aurora. This as many states across the U.S. are seeing severe weather from monsoon conditions to extreme heat. Taking a look at things here at home with a full forecast now, your Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca.
Yeah, there were some heavy thunderstorms in Denver yesterday toward the end of the week and into the weekend. Veronica.
All right, we're thinking of the weekend already. I shouldn't say it, but we are. Thank you, Dan. Well, in Salinas, hundreds of students, we love to see this, are more prepared for their new school year here with some help here from Taylor Farms. They held their annual backpack distribution event at Roosevelt Elementary School. The bags are filled with school supplies ready to be used. The principal at Roosevelt says the event helps students who need it the most.
Every single first grader, whether they're low or high economics, they will receive a backpack. This is fabulous. This is like the cherry on the top for the kids. They're going to be super excited. I know our families are super excited. They can't wait. We're just very grateful and appreciative.
We love to see that happen. Well, nearly 1,000 backpacks were handed out to first graders across Salinas schools today. Well, when we come back, a new rural transportation project launching this week, how it's helping get impaired adults to those everyday errands they have to make. Welcome back. Well, people who live in rural areas of Monterey County will soon have better access to everyday stops like grocery stores. The Independent Transportation Network is going to launch its first ride on Thursday. The project here is intended to offer veterans and visually impaired people who live in cities like Aromas, Castroville, and Moss Landing, among others. It focuses on medical, grocery, and pharmacy travel needs Monday through Friday between the hours of 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. And for a full list of cities that are covered here under the program, you can head over to our website. That's newschannel46.com. The Prancing Ponies are back for Monterey Car Week, and the Women's Car Show will also feature a fashion show. Community leaders say that all of the proceeds here from the fundraisers will go directly to low-income women within the county so that they can attend online workshops, seminars, and also conferences. Stay with us. Welcome back. More than 100 animals found their forever homes over the weekend. That includes Scooby, a rescue dog. He was one of the dozens of rescue animals adopted during the SPCA Monterey County's Pick Your Price adoption event. It wasn't only dogs there. There were also kittens, guinea pigs, turtles, ducks, all kinds of animals. Dan, another rescue pup here, found his home at T-Mobile Park with the Seattle Mariners. The Major League team adopted Tucker, a 4-year-old Labrador Retriever. Tucker is now on the clubhouse roster. Boy, he got lucky.
There's some great dogs there. I love Scooby the Rescue Dog's theme song. Have you heard it, Veronica? Goes a little something like this. Scooby the Rescue Dog, he'll be your friend and he's better than a frog. That's all the words I know.
This rescue dog, look at I feel like you could see their smiles, right? They're smiling at us.
Happy when they finally get to go see a family, live with a family, or a good companion.
You have a rescue dog, and we absolutely love him. He's here
the best.
too.
I love him.
Yeah. So if you have a chance, rescue a dog, and check out this little guy. He's getting in his, quote, quick pregame pump. The Mariners say that it's a reminder to fans there are many animals who need their forever home. So again, if you have a place in your home, space for a dog, why not adopt one?
Yeah, or you could be part of like a Major League Baseball team. That's fun too.
Or a duck. Get a duck.
Dreams really do come true.
All right, one last look at weather, Dan.
Did you say get a duck?
Yeah, they talked about ducks. They need rescue too.
Let's get a duck. All right, here's a live look from Carmel tonight. We're looking beautiful out there. Hey, you know what? If you needed an excuse to go have dinner outside on one of our wonderful restaurants here on the Central Coast and have a nice warm evening to do it, well, gosh, here's your excuse. Should be a beautiful evening here across the region. We'll see temperatures in the 70s at 6 p.m., close to 70 still at 8 p.m. Your sunset still after 8. We're at 8:05 tonight. We'll be in the 60s, maybe a few low clouds eventually, but gorgeous evening. Get out and enjoy it. At least take a walk and breathe some of that fresh air.
Yeah, I think we're going to get some ice cream at BR. That's what Vivi calls it.
BR.
See a sunset. See a sunset tonight.
There you go.
BR 31. All right. Thanks for joining us.
We'll be back at 6 o'clock.